Record. We will now continue this discussion in which we were having about the lucid dream state. Would you like us to repeat the meditation for you?
Sure, you may as well while we're here.
Yes. So we will share with you this basic concept that when you begin your journey in the dream state, allow yourself to begin in a meditation where you are focusing on your breath or focusing on your center. So this way there you are in what you would consider a deep meditative state. When you are there, start to visualize the stairs in which you are going down. This allows you to go deeper into your consciousness. When you are here, you will then see what you would call a nebula, a portal of some kind, or maybe even a path with different colors. This will light the way for you. When you enter this space, allow yourself to use your imagination. Allow yourself to connect to the various different things that appear within this structure. Now, at first, you may receive different ideas or different visual images. And from there, you can then start to create what it is that you want to manifest, what it is that you want to connect with. But by using this similar to what you would consider a canvas, this way there, this allows you to be able to play a little bit. Pay attention to your sensations that you are experiencing, all of your senses. When you are manifesting, now, remember that when you are visualizing something that you would like to see, something that you would like to feel in your physical reality, focus on the way in which things play about, different aspects of about it. This way there you can then create a template. This is beginning the groundwork for you and your consciousness. So this way there, when you start to go about your day and your physical reality, you start to realize and recognize certain things that you need to do in order to support this manifestation. Now, you may not know specifically when you receive the download to purchase a specific item or to do some form of decision, but you may just feel that you need to do it for some reason. Or you may simply know that this has to do with my manifestation. By becoming, you could say, aware of this, this allows you to start the process and creating what it is that you are manifesting in this lucid state. And we will simply say to you, very briefly, that when you are going in this state, this lucid state, we say to you to do this when you have gotten off of work, when it is early in the morning, when you are rather tired. This way there, this allows you to accessibility to get into the lucid state much easier.
Okay. Yeah, like I was saying before, when I was at work, I started closing my eyes and went into lucid dreaming straight away. That's a different state again, isn't it? Because I'm not as controlled.
Well, you could say that a lucid state is when you are able to control it. Yes, so you are literally between the veil. So you are between the dream state as well as the physical realm, also accessing different dimensions. So yes, when you are here, you are able to physically control it in your visualization during your experience. This would be considered a lucid state, but you can still get to the state itself without necessarily having control. But the practice portion of it will allow you to be able to work with it more, to be able to control it, to mold and bend it. And this is what you would consider being lucid.
Well, this morning when I closed my eyes at work and then I went straight into that lucid dreaming, it just seemed like it was real, like it wasn't any different to the physical reality in that sense. And I could remember all of what was going on, unlike most of the time when I dream, I can only remember portions of it. So I'll talk about that little lucid session when I was at work and had my eyes closed. In that dream, or in that lucid dream, I was flying around a lot, and I'm trying to understand the symbolism in what all the flying was about, because that was a big theme in that lucid dreaming.
So when you are flying, this allows you to be able to move with different energies. This is allowing you the ability to flow. So as we have mentioned before, there is the masculine side of the action and the feminine side of the flow. So what this means is for you specifically, we had spoke about flowing with the energies. So when you are flying, you are literally flowing. So this allows you to be able to, in a sense, be in control when you are flying, but also going with the current, going with the wind, sailing through the wind as if you are yourself in the balanced state, in the action state as you are taking action when you are flying, but you are moving through different energies. So you could say that this was a major part why you were experiencing this, as you are subconsciously aware of one of our discussions that we have had previously about balancing these energies. So this was assisting you in this sort of way. But also you can say that experiencing the sense of flying, being able to be completely in the open air, completely allowing everything to let go, isn't this very exhilarating to you and exciting to you? As we understand that many different types of sports, such as skydiving and things of that nature, allow you to be able to experience this. Although you may not be in full control at first when you are skydiving, you still experience the sense of complete freedom during the experience because you do not have anything attached to you.
Yeah, that's why I like enjoy hang gliding and doing all those things so much. Yeah, well, that's why I was bringing it up because obviously I do those things in my physical reality, and so the sensation of flying is innate in me anyway. So it is exhilarating to do it in my dreams as well. So what
Yes, we will share
if I
one
was
more concept
yes.
with you about that briefly before you continue. We just want to say with you that you must allow yourself to also have some time for yourself during this time because we understand that you are quite busy. But remember to have some time in order to be able to experience these types of things that excite you as well.
What hang gliding and so forth.
Yes, however you want to express yourself, because regardless of what is going on right now in your country or in your daily life, in terms of how busy you may be, it's very crucial and important at this time to remember to take care of yourself. So remember to allow yourself to express yourself however you see it fit. So if you feel very excited at this time to do what's called hang gliding, then allow yourself to do this.
Okay, I'll take that on board. Um, And so when I was flowing in those energies in that lucid dream state just a few hours ago, um, what was the symbolism of going back into that little Asian theme, that little Asian garden that I was transported to?
One moment while we are receiving the information, while we are scanning the energies of this particular garden that you are speaking of. There are different connections, you could say, for yourself to what would be considered this Asian culture. But at the same time, this is a very serene place for you. This allows you energetically to be able to unload, to be able to let go, to be able to just find your center. Not that you are carrying a lot of energies, is not what we mean. We just mean that it is a place that is quite refreshing for you. And this is why you seem to go back to this place because it allows you to experience, you could say Zen, in other words. So this was like a Zen garden, energetically speaking. So this allows you to be able to sit with it. It allows you to be able to connect, you could say, to parallel lives, but not only that, to experience a sense of oneness with yourself, with your soul's theme and who you are in multiple carnations of you.
Yeah, because it does refresh me. So when I come out of that lucid state, I feel like I've had a big rest, a long rest, like I've been in a very balanced state. Um,
Yes.
and also, like when I was flying into the mountains, and then I looked on the ground, and it was like the hieroglyphs we were talking about. They were like engraved into the ground, and I took a picture of it, and I think I took a picture of the Chinese garden as well. So I think I even took a picture to make sure I'd remember them when I wake up. Is that why I did that?
Yeah, so you did take a picture in order for you to store in your memory. So this way there you can take it with you when you feel necessary to be able to connect to those energies, to be able to refine your center. So, for example, if you were somewhere, say at work, and there was a lot going on at your workplace, and you just needed 1 second, but you do not necessarily can allow yourself to go deep in meditation, you can simply recall the image, which is also connected to the vibration. So this allows you to be able to connect to directly to it without having to go deep in meditation or deep in this lucid state. So
So
you were parking it in your memory parking lot.
and why was I taking a picture? What were the little hieroglyphs? They look like similar to the ones up at Karen we're talking about.
Those specifically were also connected during that time. So these ones there that you were seeing, that you were connecting to, were another version of the ones that are near to you. Because you could say that deep within your consciousness, you are still connecting to the energies that are correlated with the ones that you have been researching, the ones that you have been looking into. So, in other words, if you choose to connect to these specific vibrations, this will allow you to understand what they mean to you specifically, but they are a spin-off, you could say, of the ones that are nearer to you.
Well, in the dream, it was just like, oh, I just sort of graffiti things. It's like I'd done them somewhere else, but it's sort of like a habit of mine. Like I graffiti these things into the walls to remind myself somewhere else, down another reality. Is that what I was doing?
Yes, so in a way, you could say that these can come in as many different forms because they are vibrations, they are energy, depending on where you are at in your mind at the time during your lucid state, can determine how they will show themselves to you. But yes, you could say that the reason being why you use them in the graffiti type of way, markings, this allows you to actually connect vibrationally to these specific symbols, but also to the vibrations behind the symbols. So in your mind, it's much easier at times for you to grasp this and take it in this type of format. It is much easier for you to look at, much easier for you to go into the energy.
Okay, and then while on the topic of dreams, the other day I had a dream, um, and my brother came over and he dropped off a metal detector. So look at these for this ring, and in that dream, it was pretty lucid as well, and it was like I've got like an Egyptian falcon on my back, and in my dream, there's someone took like this tattoo off my back, and it said that this passes down my family lineage, and there's something about my family line, with my brother and that included, that's like a gift to humanity. Can you help explain what that was?
So you could say that a gift to humanity and your family lineage. You could say that partially, you could say that you would be considered part of what you would call the blue bloods. So you do have some of that in you, which is considered the Anunnaki. But also, this is more, you could say, a symbolism for your oversoul, for your lineage as you are, and all of your connections that you come from, not just in a physical sense. So, as far as this being, mainly speaking, this is the wisdom, the ancient wisdom that you have tapped into many times, that you continuously tap into. There are many different portions of it that you have not tapped into just yet. As you begin your journey to discover more parts of yourself, they will then start to replicate, and you will start to see things a little bit more clearly when it comes to these types of ideas, these wisdom in which you carry. And many of this is historical, and there are different, you could say, secrets that we will not be able to spill the beads on. But as you begin to experience more of this connection with yourself, with your oversoul, and your different incarnations, you will start to see this more, you could say, clearly. But as we said before, this is what this means specifically.
So yeah, talking about the oversoul, because the other day I was talking about Stacey. You said she's a part of my oversoul as well. That's correct.
Yes, this is correct.
So what's the themes of our oversouls?
So it just depends on specifically what you choose to be, you could say, looking into, to be exploring. But primarily, we can share with you a different few aspects that you could say that you are utilizing currently, as well as some of the individuals in your oversoul, because we will share briefly before we go into this idea. We will share briefly that the energies that are correlating within the oversoul have different, you could say, pieces that have been spread out in different forms, such as you, such as Stacy, such as several others. And some are not even, you could say, on your planet. And some may not even be in physical form at this time. But primarily, each individual soul has a specific function in order to allow the oversoul, the grand oversoul, you could say, to process things in terms of evolution, in terms of becoming brighter and becoming, you could say, higher densities in some aspects. But specifically, we will share with you that many of the individuals within your oversoul group have many different awareness in terms of wisdom, in terms of ancient wisdom. There are many different, you could say, individuals that have, or souls that have played different parts in places such as Egypt, such as Atlantis, Lemuria. For some of the areas, these are very, you could say, rich in culture, but also there are many different connections beyond the physical. So there are many different, you could say, magical connections in your terminology. So you could say this specific group of oversouls have a very high rate when it comes in terms of alchemy and being able to change things and able to use different energies and different resources in order to shift and transform. So these are just some of the ideas. In terms of themes, again, it goes specifically based on the individual.
Okay, so I understand they're like different moving parts of the same body.
Yes. Yes.
So one can be like the hand and one can be like the foot. Even though they're working together, they have different roles.
Yes, and all interconnected. So, but you could always choose to engage with these specific vibrations of the oversoul or not. It would be based on how you feel, because you can detach, of course, and just be without that connection. But by being aware of the connection, it allows you to, you could say, gain access to much more information than just beyond yourself or beyond your own incarnations, but you are able to tap into various different pieces of the oversoul and different pieces of the wisdom or explorations that they have done or they have shared within the group.
So what's the implications then working with people of your oversoul, such as me and Stacey?
So specifically, as you and Stacy, as we had said before, in terms of what you are doing together, energetically speaking, there are many things unfolding as we speak, but specifically working with individuals within your soul, your oversoul groups, have various different purposes. So if you want to connect to the actual, you could say, consciousness, which is the bulk of the oversouls, you'll simply just have to become aware of the energy. And by allowing yourself to dip into this specific energy, you can visualize, as after you have gone into a meditative state, you can visualize this ball of energy that has many different pieces to it, but you can view it as a whole and allow yourself to energetically connect to the vibrations of this. Allow yourself to experience, explore this. Allow yourself to feel different energies, different emotions that the Oversoul Center has. But by doing this, this allows you to activate the connection deeper. So when you are, you could say, in various different daily life activities, you may be able to just simply tap in to grab a piece of information that might be relevant to the current experience that you were in at that moment. So, but in terms of working specifically, each individual that you work with within the Oversoul group has a purpose.
Okay. So, um, so working with Stacey more different than working with someone else if they're from my Oversoul?
Yes, the connection is different. The, you could say, agreements and the choices that you have made in order to work together. So what that means is some individuals within your soul group, even if you see them at the grocery store or out in public or at your workplace, you may recognize them vibrationally, energetically speaking, but you may not work with them because it is simply not relevant for you during this experience or relevant for them during this experience, during your current journey on this physical plane on earth. But you may have worked with them in, you could say, another incarnation. You may worked with them in various different ways, but in this specific physical reality may not be relevant for you. But yes, every individual within the Oversoul connection, the ones that you have made agreements to work with or choose to work with, you could say, these individuals would be all different in terms of how you interact with them and what you have chosen to work on together.
Then
And we
how
will
often would you
say,
meet some? Oh, sorry,
and we will say with
sorry,
you
go.
that individuals that you may not like or prefer, you could say, these individuals may be also a part of your oversoul. So they may have caused some form of instability at one point in your reality that may have allowed you to look at it in a different sort of way. There was a particular purpose during this experience. They also can be a part of your oversoul. It's just that the agreement and the choices that you made and their choices they made to interact with you may be, you could say, on a different type of scale.
Well, that sounds very specific. Um, who are you referring to?
We do not necessarily have a name, but you may have had this circumstance that we are discussing to you at this time. This is why we were very specific, because we want you to know this particular individual had played a part within your oversoul group, but you do not necessarily need to, you could say, have any more interactions with this particular person, but understand and know that this is an option, that you may experience this or you may have experienced this within your physical reality with different members of your soul group, but not all. And your soul group is on the medium to smaller side due to your heightened awareness and due to your, you could say, advancement in your soul. So therefore, you yourself personally do not have necessarily a very large group in comparison to, you could say, some of the beings within your Earth's collective.
Ah, so there's less entities within the Oversoul because of a higher consciousness concentration.
Yes, because of your experiences and the individuals within your oversoul's experiences are quite advanced. Therefore, you do not have as much as, say, somebody else within the Earth's collective that you could say would be somebody that is not aware or not conscious of their higher self in that sort of way, or in various different ways. You could say they are not as advanced as someone like you. So they would not have a smaller oversoul, they would have a quite large one.
Oh, okay, yeah, and I think I know who you're talking about in regards to the instability and her role in my life.
And you could say
So yeah,
that
I
this,
appreciate.
the moment you think of this particular person, you know who this person is. Therefore, even if you don't have a name, even if we don't provide you the name vibrationally speaking, whatever you feel, the name that you feel, that it is this particular person. So yes, we will confirm with you that yes, your first initial instinct is this person.
Yeah, I figured who it was. So there is a great probability of meeting lots of people from your Oversoul. Like I thought it'd be a pretty rare event.
Well, based on where you are at in your evolution in different aspects of yourself, it can be quite easy for you to come across a portion of your oversoul. Individuals that are in even in the larger groups, they may come across different aspects of their oversoul, but not have an engagement with them or relationship with them of any kind because they are not ready for that type of engagement. Whereas you yourself have been ready to receive different interactions for different reasons for your oversoul.
Okay, I appreciate that that clarification. Okay, so I want to talk about the like we talked about the portals, especially this one I'm talking of, not specifically of this one, but we can use this one example at the site we're talking about that I've been researching. So we've talked about where the ring was, and we talked about the portal and how it was not really in use anymore, and that place used to be used a lot more as in a portal for different energies intersecting. So what's the difference between it being used or activated or not used?
So with that being said, is even though it is not currently being used, it is still open. So what this means is there is a time frame where the energies did not seem to be coming through, or the entities, the civilizations as well, were not coming through this particular portal because there were different changes within the atmosphere, but also there were, you could say, an influx of, you could say, people and different, you could say, earth-based people and earth-based spirits that were in that area specifically. So therefore, they, at the time when they did choose to no longer utilize this portal, they did use it for a very short time, even after it was no longer frequently being used. It now sits open, but they do not necessarily use it, if this makes sense. So the difference
Okay,
between
so
a portal such as that and a, you could say, a portal that is open and being used is, vibrationally speaking, it moves. There are, you could say, quite a bit of energies that circulate in the area when it is being used. So right now, as we said before, there is a lot of energy still vibrating from there. But if the individual portal, that if it is being used, the energies in the area would start to become more intense. So you could say that there would be more energies in a higher density. We are looking for the correct words in the channel's vocabulary. Bear with us. But yes, you could say that it would be more intense. This would the most appropriate word within the channel's language we can utilize.
no, I understand what you mean. Um, yeah, so is that why sometimes when I go out there and have little ceremonies and that the elementals and that come out more? Is that what you mean?
Yes,
Or
this is
things?
specifically what we mean.
Okay, but obviously it was a lot more intense before, like when you said I was there and in another life, and um, there was a lot more extraterrestrial involvement.
Yes.
So are they choosing not to use that because there's more humans around there now, and the time's different?
Yeah, so there are many different things that are preventing them from fully utilizing the space, and because they feel that it's not necessary at this time. Now, we are receiving download that this portal may be used in the future. It may be used, but right now, as we said before, it is not being used. But yes, that is the main reason behind why it has not been used in quite some time.
So what would be a way, the ways of activating that portal
So what you
or portals
can
in
do
general?
is, one moment while we were receiving the downloads, because we see the images, but we want to clarify. One moment. We are seeing copper coils that extend in, you could say, a square. So 4 copper coils, long ones that extend from the ground, and quartz crystals that align the square between these copper coils. Almost as if you are creating some form of a grid. This will
Like,
assist in reactivating the portal in a way where this can attract more activity.
Okay, let's clarify that a little bit. So you're saying a two-dimensional square, or like it'll be three-dimensional, but you're saying a square, so four copper rods joined together. Is that correct?
Well, they are not necessarily joined together, but yes, 4 points of these copper rods coming out of the ground. If there is a way to put the quartz on top of the rods, this would be beneficial, but if not, place the quartz crystals within the sections of the square that outline the square with the copper rods, in between the copper rods.
So what, can they be in a pyramid shape if they're coming out of the ground?
We are not meaning a pyramid shape, but you can make a pyramid shape out of it. Yes, you can use it this way. This would be just as effective. But we were meaning 4 points, 4 stakes out of the ground. So you have the square, 4 points coming out of the ground, on each point having the quartz crystal, or in between
Ah,
the rods. The quartz crystal can be buried in the dirt or on top of the dirt, if there is dirt nearby that you are able to dig into properly.
okay. And what dimensions, what, is there any specific width between these points?
One moment while we are receiving this. You would say about 5 feet.
Oh, that's handy because I would have put them a lot closer than that. 5 feet. And is there any thickness to this copper rod? Like about thick as my finger? Is that about okay?
We see it to be between 2 to 3 inches, preferably, but if it is a little bit less than that, this would be fine.
Okay. And then is there any specific spots to put these activation crystals or this activation grid?
You can place this as close to the area in which you would see the hieroglyphs. This, around this specific area, would be perfect. So you can place this, one moment while we are looking at a foot south if possible.
A foot south.
Of these particular hieroglyphs, where it begins. It does not have to
Okay.
be specific, but this is just a suggestion, of course, because that whole area can be utilized. Any area that you place this will assist in this opening up this portal in a way where it is activated, as it is already open, but you understand what we mean. So anywhere in that specific space, but preferably that area, a foot south of these specific structures that we are speaking of.
Yeah, well, it's obviously got to be dirt. So obviously our structures are rocks. So you're just saying a foot south beyond those rocks where it's
Yes,
dirt.
yes.
Okay, I appreciate that. And then what besides placing that activation grid, is there other things to do to activate it?
Yes. So you can sit in the center of this specific space, and you can start to connect to the energies that are in the area specifically, because your intention to open it up in terms of activating it, in terms of inviting different beings to come through this portal, you want to allow yourself to experience the familiarity in that space, because you yourself know this space, energetically speaking. So therefore, connecting to this specific energy within this space will allow you to use your energy to invite different beings from different civilizations in this specific space. Also, we can share with you, you can use a particular sacred geometry symbol that you feel most connected with, that resonates with you the most, because we cannot give you a specific one when we say this. There is a reason being, is because your energy is going to assist in inviting different energies to the space. So this is why we say to you, pick the one that feels most resonant with you. And if you are able to draw out this specific symbol somewhere within that square, this will also provide a sense of vibration, of an activation from your own energy and your own intention. You can also invite
Okay.
Stacy to come along with you in order to participate. And if she has a specific sacred geometry symbol that she feels most resonant with, also do the same for her. Both of you sit in the space, allow yourself to settle in with the energies, allow yourself to do this when the night starts going down. So when the sun is starting to set, and there is still sun in the sky, so there is still light. But this will allow you could say, energies, because there is a point where there is a veil that is, you could say, open during that time, thinner during that time, which allows the energies that you are providing, your intention, your connections, and to, you could say, intensify, to become more clear for other beings to be able to see and perceive the both of you and what you are asking, you're requesting.
Yes, I clearly understand what you're talking about, between the sun setting and the in between the worlds.
Yes.
Okay, so that's really helpful. That's a very pragmatic way to
We also want to share
activate this.
that we also want to share with you that we would like you, if you have not already, to start keeping a journal. You can designate this journal specifically to this project that you are working on, if you do not already do so, because this will allow you to be able to organize the energies associated with this project specifically. And you can then start to divide the different projects that you are involved in with different journals. You can keep track of these specific vibrations, any dreams that you may have regarding this, such as the one you have described to us earlier. You can use this to keep track, because you will start to see an unfolding of events. Even if you do not see it necessarily physical yet, you will start to see a story being shown to you in various different ways. So this is energetics. This is going to be what you will consider in your dreams. You may notice different synchronicities that align, that allow you to be able to tap into that other world, that other part of you that was once there in that space. And you can start to integrate this in your physical reality in a much easier way by organizing those thoughts and energies in a specific one spot.
Okay, and just going back to that grid, the crystals, do I put them in between each 4 points and one in the center?
Yes, you can do the one in the center as well. Yes.
And they're quartz crystals, to be
Yes.
exact.
Clear quartz crystals.
Clear quartz. Perfect. Okay, well, I will keep a journal. Yeah, that's very yeah, it's very helpful. I appreciate it. And is that with all portals, that activation grid, or is that specific to that area?
Well, that is specific to that area, but you can use a similar format with other portals as well by simply connecting to the space. So we will share with you something that may be helpful to you, because we want you to also know that you already are aware of these different portals and how to access the energies there. So every time you go to a space in which you feel there might be a portal, do not second guess it. Chances are there most likely is one there. When you find yourself in a place where there is a portal, listen to the vibrations of the portal and how to connect with it. Every individual portal has different ways, or different special touches, you could say, that will allow you to access the energies that is available to you. Depending on how you have connected with that area previously, like for example, this specific portal, you have allowed yourself to connect to because you know that you have been there at some point and have utilized this at some point. But any other portal that you come across, it may be a similar connection that you have been there at one point in time. But even if you haven't, you can still connect with them by simply becoming aware of the vibrations. Now, we understand that you are intuitive in a sense that you can connect to different, you could say, civilizations and different energies that you have accessible to you. So when you fine tune it to specifically that portal that you are connecting with, it will allow you to see the unfolding of what needs to be done in order to connect deeper to this portal.
So tune into each one and see its
Yes.
personality.
Yes. This way you can use this to your own advantage and do not necessarily need someone to outline it for you, because we want you to start trusting and knowing in yourself that you are quite powerful and you do have all of these answers readily available to you. But you must start to trust. Your first initial instinct is most likely your answer in every given moment. So we are sharing this with you because your guides are also sharing this with us. So start to connect to these portals that you come across and know that you do have the ability to tap into what specifically they want.
That's true. Yes, I agree with you. A lot of the times I do perceive it, just like where I picked up the ring and I knew it was within a few feet of that area, which is a pretty high probability. Um, but things like that grid that we just described, I don't know if that would take a lot of I don't know. I feel like that would be harder to come by, that specific grid, just to manifest that in my mind without
Well,
a
yes, we
guide's help.
understand that, but in a way, you could say that this was specifically outlined, but there are different ways that you may see, you might be able to perceive, and not specific such as we have described to you, but there are many different ways to even connect to this specific grid. This is primarily what we are picking up on as being the most, you could say, beneficial, the most accurate, the one where you will get the most results from. But there are various different ways you can even connect to that portal. So there is no specific way to connect to any portal. This one is just, you could say, a little bit easier to do it in this format that we have shared with you. The energies will become more intensified.
Oh, and with that grid, how deep do the copper rods have to go into the ground?
You could say that they could go about 6 inches to a foot in between there into the ground. We would say closer to 6 inches. If it is a little bit less than that, that is quite all right. The minimum we would say is 3, but preferably between 6 and 12 inches.
Okay, perfect. And I guess while we're here, we talk about the Draconians. Do they have any messages they want to put through?
Yes, let's see if they have anything they would like to share with you today. They are, again, speaking of grounding, but they are speaking about the moment. Do you consume caffeinated beverages?
Actually, I have sometimes. Yeah,
Do you drink coffee specifically?
I did today, but sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't.
Because they are saying something about the coffee. They are saying not to drink coffee is what they are saying. And we don't really understand specifically why they have said this. One moment. They are saying that the coffee actually lifts you up. It does not necessarily make you feel as grounded, or you're not as grounded as you need to be. And they are showing us the chest and the heart and being firm in the ground. And that there are many different energies, there are many different things happening around you, but they are reminding you to stay in your center, in your heart, grounded, deep rooted into the ground. This is what they
Okay.
are sharing with us.
Okay. No, that's very practical. Yeah, I do go for a stage where I drink coffee and I don't. So no, I can easily cut that out. It's not really a crutch for me. Um, okay. Is that all I want to share?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, and then just probably the last sort of things. With this information getting around my chest and my body, what's the best way to reduce this inflammation?
So, can you repeat the question? You said that you have some
Um,
inflammation.
yeah, I got less inflammation in water retention in my body, um, and I'm just trying to work out what's the best way to reduce it.
Yes, yes. So, have you considered doing a juice cleanse for a few days, such as maybe 3 to 5 days? Have you done this or considered doing this?
No, I'm happy to do it though.
We can share with you this would be a best practice for you to do at least once a month, maybe even once every 3 months. This will give the body literally a reset. From there, after you complete your juice cleanse, and we say to you that ensure that the juices that you are using are freshly squeezed if possible, organic, and has various different fruits and vegetables included within these cleanses. And there are specific places that will sell you 3 days worth or 5 days worth. They will give you enough. So this way there you have, you could say, enough nutrients for the body. And start to also consume ginger tea if possible. This will assist in reducing some of this inflammation that you are speaking of, but also in terms of the, you are saying, did you say something about the heart and lungs area to us?
Yeah, around the chest and abdomen and my arms.
Are you feeling a pressure there in this place?
Yeah, like fluid.
One moment. Have you engaged in different yogi stretches, such as different yogi postures?
Yeah, I have normally, but because of this virus and that, I guess I haven't been going to yoga. Um,
Yes.
but
So
I can engage in
start
these.
the yes, so start the practice in stretching out this area specifically because there is energy building up in this area. So there is something there that we are picking up on in the heart area. So within the heart chakra, specifically speaking. So if there is something that you feel, maybe you are feeling a sense of compassion for those that are being affected in your workplace. You may be simply just picking up energies around you within your workplace. So we say to you specifically that when you come home, also start the practice of energetically clearing yourself by when you shower, when you come home, allow yourself to visualize a golden white light coming in from the crown, clearing you out energetically. If you have the usage of sananga, if you have access to this will also greatly beneficial to you to use every morning when you come home from work. This will assist you with clearing anything out. Also, you may be due for a combo session as well. This will also be beneficial for you at some point when you have the opportunity. When things slow down and start to, you could say, start to become more, you could say, back to normal in your terminology, you can seek out a particular medicine person that you feel trusted to be able to assist with the combo session. This will also help you. But first and foremost, as we understand, we have bounced around and we have given you a lot of information. Start with the juice cleanse, start with the yogi stretching, and also practicing the self-care, such as these showers that allow you to clear yourself out, and sananga if you do have this on hand.
Okay, yeah, I do have Sananga on hand. So we're talking about Sananga. What's the benefits you see from it? Like for me, I see. It just brings me into the now because I'm in so much pain that I can't keep my eyes open. I'm in pain. I keep them closed. I'm in pain. So it really centers me in the now energetically. But outside of that, what benefits is it giving me?
So there are many different portions to this. We'll be happy to explain to you. Before we do that, may we ask you, before you apply the sananga, do you set an intention before you apply it? And when you do apply it, you say that you have your eyes closed. Are you blinking your eyes as you are focusing on your intention?
No.
Okay, so we will share with you how the channel does it. This way this can be beneficial if you want to try this particular practice. So by stating the intention before you apply the drops, then you apply the drops on the inner corner of the eye. This will allow the slow process of the medicine entering in the eye. When you have this, then you would focus on the third eye and begin to blink. And as you begin to blink, the medicine will work its way into the eye. And once you feel the burn, allow yourself to surrender. Allow yourself to experience the burn as if it is bringing you joy. And paying attention to your intention, continuously blink. And the blinking will actually move the medicine faster through the eye, through the energetics, through your chakra systems, balancing you and removing any impurities energetically within your field. But also, as you blinking, you are tearing up, and those energetics will also coming out of the eye. Now, it helps with this. It can help with physical pain. So if you are having physical pain, such as you are saying that you are experiencing the sensations in your chest, this will help to relax the muscles, as the sananga has a, you could say, root or plant that is from the ibogaine family. And this specifically creates a sensation in the body that alleviates physical pain in some ways. So this can assist you in this sort of way. It will relax the muscles and help you. But also, it also can assist you with your focus on your eyes. So you will be able to see things a little bit more clearer physically. If you do have any issues with your vision, this will help your vision become more crisp. But also, energetically speaking, with the third eye, it does work on the third eye. So it allows you to be able to perceive things more clear, if you understand what we are referring to. Their third eye is also worked on during this exercise with the sananga.
Okay, thanks for that. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we finish today?
One moment while we are seeing if there's, yes. So one of the messages that they also showed us, the Draconians specifically, were showing us to stick your feet in the dirt, as this is a wonderful tool that you can start to use to help you to ground your energies.
Okay, I can do that.
Now, do you or someone that you are involved with smoke?
Occasionally, yeah.
Because they are showing us, and not specifically the Draconians, but in our awareness, we are seeing, and specifically more so from the guides, they are telling you to stop smoking. And we do not necessarily know if this is pertaining to you specifically or somebody that is around you. But this will assist in, if this is you specifically, we understand that this will assist to break up some of the energy that may be stored in that area. It will assist in this.
Yeah, I'm not habitual, but yeah, it's no problem. It's like the coffee, not to smoke or drink coffee or anything like that. So yeah, I can do that quite easily.
Or
Okay,
if
I
you do
appreciate the
use it,
advice.
if you do use either one, by creating intention when utilizing it, and since you do not use it every day, setting intention when using this will assist you to be able to create a new vibration when it comes to your experience with these specific tools or these specific medicines.
Well, is that the same with the harpe? It's a tobacco-based substance, isn't it?
Yes,
Oops,
this
I'll
is
let you
would
go
be the
anyway.
same.
We
Yes,
can talk about this
absolutely.
next time.
At this time, we will now allow the channel to return back to her natural state. We send our unconditional love to you.
Thank you.